zone.
Morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. It is the morning after with Nic and Big J. Welcome to yet another day, yet another show, Big J.
Yep.
29th day of October, 2025. She's a Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week. What's going on the show today? Well, let's check it off. First things first, you're going to get another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery. Nobody quite put all the pieces together, so we are close, though. I can tell you that much. This thing's got to be wrapped up by Friday, or we're in real trouble.
That's never happened. I don't know how that could happen. But.
That has never happened? What do you mean? Oh, that it's gone longer?
Yeah.
It came close. Remember, one year it went all the way until Adam's show, and it had to be walked through. And we're like, we don't have any more clues, guys. This is everything. But I have faith in the X-Rock detectives. I think they're doing a hell of a job. They're putting all the pieces together. They're getting there. I've heard a lot of guesses. We'll see who gets it.
I'll say this. I'll say this should be a rule, and if nobody guesses it, that means you, who put in all the work, get to go see Nine Inch Nails in Las Vegas.
No.
You win.
I want to give away that prize. I want somebody that listens and dedicates themselves to the mystery. I want to see people that take notes and notebooks.
We want to see pictures of your message board, of your, high potential, like the board.
Yeah.
Or any detective room.
Right.
We'd love to see pictures of that.
I know for a fact there's group text messages about it. There's group chats about the murder mystery. So there's thoughts being shared, and I like that. But we'll see, because you're going to get another clue today that might get you a little closer.
There's Facebook groups.
Is there? We got Avatar tickets to give away. That's going to happen over the course of the program today. And, of course, Big J will have a movie review for you. He sat down and watched the Elixir last night. I saw, as I was thumbing through trying to find something to watch, that it had crept into the top 10. It had not been in the top 10 when I had prepared the list on Monday. But I got to call that the Big J bump, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, well, after today.
Oh, don't spoil anything, Big J. Although I will say this. I do think you have an aversion to zombie movies. And so I think anything that is in that genre has that working against it.
It's been done a lot.
Sure.
So you got to bring it if you're going to try to stand above.
Agree. Or even make it serviceable at this point. Like, if you're not going to have your hog out like 28 years later, Big J's not interested. That's the kind of differences that it makes. That makes Big J stand up and go, okay, I haven't seen that in a zombie movie before.
Before even you just say it's not in there. Unfortunately, no nudity of any kind in the Elixir.
Yeah, remember that when we used to get nudity reports for Screaming Dumbass movies?
You quickly stopped giving me movies with nudity.
That's true, because it started to feel gross to me. But we also have some additional fun and cool things like headlines, and we're going to hell, so it should be a fun one. Let's get started with some Chili Peppers. Soul to Squeeze, kicking off the morning after with Nic and Big J on the X-Rocks.
The morning after with Nic and Big J.
Did you hear about the facelift, Big J?
The facelift.
On the Blue.
No.
It is getting a refresh this year. Boise State Athletics announced yesterday that it has received a $1.5 million anonymous gift to help fund getting brand new turf installed, blue style, at Albertson Stadium ahead of the next football season as they transition into the Pac-10. The new turf will be the 6th iteration of the blue field. It was first installed. Big J, do you remember what year they installed the blue? You were alive.
1979?
No.
81?
No.
82?
No.
76?
No.
77?
No.
1952?
No, you were alive, I say.
Oh, I don't know.
1986.
Oh, okay. Well, sooner than I thought.
Under Gene Blameyer, he's the guy that made that happen. It was the first football field in the country to be a color other than green, and then they replaced the turf in 1995, 2002, 2008, 2010, and the last time they did it was 2019. So 7 years later, boom, it's happening. That's pretty cool. The new field will coincide with the completion of the North End Zone project, which will expand Albertson Stadium with 1,600 new seats and 12 field-level seats, 44 lodge boxes, and 872 club seats that include food and beverage service so you can live life like you're Big J. The renovation will also feature the Simplot Nutrition Lounge to serve all 18 Broncos sports programs and more than 350 student athletes. So this is all part of a larger upgrade that they're doing, but you're going to have a new, brighter, bluer turf that's going to be on the blue next year. Isn't that cool, Big J?
Yeah.
So something to look forward to. The stadium will look almost completely different next year when they launch their football season, which is nice.
Oh, new league.
That's right. You might as well put on your best suit, right?
Yeah.
Show off for company a little bit. The money being paid to college football coaches to not coach this season is enough to pay the entire roster of the Baltimore Orioles, Big J.
Can't the university be like, let's stop this? We got to stop this.
Well, no.
Stop having these huge buyouts because you know you're going to fire these guys because you have no patience.
Right, well, yeah, but number one, the buyouts are mostly to prevent other schools from stealing their coach. But then it bites them in the ass when they decide they no longer want this coach's services.
The amount of money is insane.
It's crazy. It's all led by Brian Kelly, who literally just signed an extension with LSU, and then they fired him into this season, and that means he had a $54 million buyout. James Franklin, who, again, like the patience thing you're talking about, I understand you don't want to take losses, and it's not great, but like Penn State was ranked number 4 like 2 weeks before they fired him, and they decided to S-can him and then pay him $21 million to not coach the team, which is crazy. So far, the amount owed to FBS head football coaches that were fired this season is $167.7 million. The total payroll of the 2025 Orioles, $162 million for an entire 162-game season of baseball. So it is a little bit out of control. This is one of the reasons why people are pointing to, like, maybe this is a problem with, you wonder why football costs so money. It's because there's a lot of dead money in it. There's no salary cap. There's a lot of NIL stuff that isn't really being, kind of listed as to how much truly is budgeted and put out for this stuff, especially in the large programs. You only know certain players because they're big enough that you care, but the other stuff really isn't like any kind of like way where it's itemized. Like, this is how much NIL stuff that's given out. So it's weird. There's a lot of questionable money being thrown around in college football these days. And nobody seems to care because a lot of people still watch it. But
it's more popular now than it's been ever.
Brian Kelly and James Franklin are going to get other opportunities. I don't know if Deshaun Foster will, who got $5 million to no longer coach UCLA, because that was a questionable hire to begin with. But or Trent Dilfer, for that matter, who's also getting paid a ridiculous amount of money to not coach UAB, for God's sake. Turned out he could not turn that program around, and that was somebody who didn't have any kind of coaching experience whatsoever, assistant or otherwise. And so sometimes just because you played in the NFL doesn't make you a good player, and sometimes just because you've had success doesn't make you a good coach. Brian Kelly is the example of that. But also, it's a different world. Nick Saban used to matter when you could get a bunch of talent in there, and it didn't matter if you had the NIL money to bring in talent. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, your scheme, your coach, your recruiting, all of that stuff mattered. Now it's like, how much money can you give me to play for your football team, bro? And then we'll talk. And then the coaching does matter, but usually you're so elevated in a talent level that other stuff doesn't. So we'll see what ends up happening, but it's a lot of money is all I'm trying to say, Big J. You understand.
Yeah.
Big J, on Friday, you're catching a plane to go see horror legend and icon John Carpenter perform live in L.A. at the Belasco Theater. Agree or disagree?
Yes, agreed.
Did you see that what he announced yesterday?
Yeah.
That he is now going to live stream it on his website, and you can check out that official performance as well, the one that Big J will be at personally, for just $20 at theofficialjohncarpenter.com. During the stage performances, Carpenter plays musical scores that he composed for his films, including Halloween, Escape from New York, and They Live. He also performs music he created for movies he didn't direct, like Starman and The Thing, Big J.
No, he did direct The Thing.
I know, that's a weird thing in the story. Carpenter will perform his second show on Saturday. You're not going to that, right?
No.
These will mark the first time he has performed live since 2018, but you were also at that. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're not angry that it's streaming because you were going to go no matter what,
no,
right?
And it's not even close to be the same.
No, of course not.
It's cool, but it's nice for people who aren't going to be able to do that.
Yeah, because it's not like the Belasco Theater is a gigantic venue. It's not like it's Staples Center.
Never been there.
I mean?
Never been there.
But it's small. It's a smaller thing, so it's cooler.
Standing room only.
That he's giving opportunities. It's like he's playing at the Rev Center, essentially.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that he's giving a lot of fans an opportunity to check it out live. So if you can't be like Big J and be there in person, you can check it out online this weekend and stream it on his website.
I mean, it's a super cool thing for Halloween night, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your important stuff. It is the X Rocks. Soundgarden fell on Black Days here on the Morning After with Nic and Big J. Big J, you are now kind of an empty nester. I mean, for the most part, the kid pops by a couple times a week and maybe spends a night or so. But for the most part, it's just you and the wife in the house these days, right?
Yeah, that's right, man.
So as somebody that was responsible for once feeding 4 people in a house and doing those things, do you find yourself eating out more often because it's just the two of you, or less often because there's less food to prepare?
Less.
Okay.
Last night for dinner, I had a sandwich and baked beans.
Were you on a train?
I was like,
And hoboing
I'm
it up?
having, and then I had like a piece of toast with some, I'm like, this toast to me, I'm like, what's going on here? But it's like, well, I wanted to go out, but then I'm like, not go out. Let's empty this pantry, which is nothing you could pull off with the kids. They're not going to have baked beans and the sandwich for dinner.
That would not appease them, right?
No, right? And, but I get me the fiber that I need.
For your poops?
Yeah, so yeah, it was fine. So yeah, we have. I've only cooked a couple times, really cooked something since they moved out.
But what you just mean like you're
Like a
foraging,
meal.
like
Yeah,
basically putting
Yes.
together different kinds of things to make it count. Got it. Okay.
So we are saving a ton of money.
yeah.
on
And
food.
according to a YouGov poll, that's one of the things that Americans are doing more and more often because of rising costs of everything else. People of all generations are eating out less than they ever have. The survey found about 70% of Americans still eat out once a month, but that is so much lower than what it was before. And basically a third of Americans say they're doing so way less than a year ago. Well over half of us saying definitely less than a year ago. Of those cutting back, 69% cite the rising cost of restaurant meals and now costs a ridiculous amount of money to go out to get something to eat. And 58% say, well, listen, we're just trying to save money to make this happen. When it comes to saving money at a restaurant, basically there's still coupons that are to be used. 58% of people like to do that. And in a surprise for a couple of generations, listen, people are drinking a lot less alcohol too. You're not drinking when you go out, which can, of course, add to your meal total and all sorts of stuff. So that is certainly something that is happening on a less regular basis. Not to say that it's not enough to keep things in business, but it is something that I think that people are a little bit more budget conscious, are thinking twice or 3 times about before they actually decide to make that move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're like, listen, if it's 2 of us going out to eat, it's what, $60, $70?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're
Depends
looking
on
for.
where you're going.
Right, but for a sit-down meal,
That's fast food too. I mean, that's super expensive, even more so maybe.
Sure. But yeah, 2 people fast food, $30 probably,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
at least. But if, you want to sit down, you're talking $70, $80 probably. And that can add up very quickly before you know it. So something to keep in mind is you're not alone if you are the one that's deciding, you know what? For dinner, I'm going to have sandwich and some baked beans. Strangely enough, I had a sandwich and a salad last night for dinner for that same setup. I was like, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I've got the fixins. Might as well have a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
And so I get it. I can't, other than because I was out and about Monday and I had a delicious burger at the McCleary's in Caldwell, last time I probably ate out in almost 3 weeks. So it's just one of those things. But I don't know if I'm doing it consciously or not. But I will say this, when I went to the grocery store and saw how much money it cost me to get my groceries, I'm like, I'm going to make sure I'm going to eat this bleep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let it go to waste or do anything like that. Like, it is crazy expensive to go to the grocery store, too. So I want to make sure that I'm smart and not just throw money out the window when I'm doing it, because it's an expensive trip to the store now to get what I need for myself and the kids. And so it's like, man, it definitely adds up quick.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw that money out and go, why not add, another $30 to it by stopping somewhere,
Yeah, I mean, let's see. The night before, I was telling you, I mean, I made a salad and used a chicken patty, a frozen chicken patty, is the protein on it. So
And it was delicious, right?
Yeah. Homemade ranch. So it's like you don't have to. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for the restaurant industry.
Yeah, me too.
Because those people are hurting big time. But we're just in a tough spot. I don't think it'll be permanent for the rest of our lives, but for now anyways.
Yeah.
This is what we have to do.
Permanent for now, says Big J. Morning After with Nic and Big J. Speaking of which, he probably, while he was eating that sandwich and baked beans, sat down and watched a movie. And he will give you a full review of said movie next on the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the TDS.
Blink 182, damn it, here on the morning after with Nic and Big J. Yesterday, gosh, right around this time, you guys, you selected a movie for Big J to watch, overwhelmingly so. It is called The Elixir. It was the number 9 movie on Netflix that I saw last night, into the top 10, and that means Big J spent some time with it. Big J, what's The Elixir about and how is it?
The Elixir. Yes, it's a Filipino horror movie, Nick.
My favorite kind.
And I think this is what they were shooting for. And I think maybe this is what like truly great horror movies shoot for, Nick. And that is like we saw Sinners earlier this year. And, you know, that's a great movie that happens to have vampires in it. It's not a vampire movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so good. Because the script is so good. The story is really interesting, especially with the brothers, all that kind of stuff. And I think this movie is also attempting to do that, where this movie is about a dysfunctional family who needs to sell. Some of them want to sell a business, and the patriarch of it doesn't. He wants to keep things going. And in the middle of that, there's a zombie outbreak that they may be responsible for.
Yeah, that happens.
And that's what happens here. And so basically, you've got this family, and this also takes place out in a rural area, Nick, as opposed to like a zombie movie, in a urban area. So you have that distinction. There is some messing around with the timeline here a little bit, so that you don't know what's going on at first. About with the zombie outbreak and what's going on.
Like the outbreak has happened already, but then you're trying to find out the origins of it? Okay.
And so you find this out. Basically,
also different that you rarely find out the origins of a zombie outbreak.
Yes, and you kind of do here in this particular case. This family, they own a herbal company, and they're about to sell to a big pharma company, and they have one last thing that they're doing, and they're trying to make a new elixir, Nick, and that elixir accidentally turns people into bloodthirsty zombies.
Oh no!
And
what's it supposed to do?
It's supposed to make you live much longer.
Oh, okay.
And so,
well, technically,
yeah. I mean, it kind of worked a little bit, but the pluses in this movie is that the special effects are really, really good. The transitions when people turn into zombies is different. It's unique. So you got that going for you. The family plots and twists in this, like, it almost got obnoxious, Nick. Like, for about the first 45 minutes, there's no zombies, really. Just the one you're introduced to at the beginning of the movie. And then it's, like, all family drama. And I'm like, this is garbage. What has this got to do with anything? And so you have, like, I just think it's a disconnect. They were trying to make a movie that had zombies in it. You know what I'm saying?
They wanted to give you more than the typical zombie movie.
And I just don't think that it worked very well. And there were some scares here and there, but overall, it was, I don't know why it's in the top 10. I think,
because it's Halloween and it's a new movie,
sure,
probably.
I guess. But I didn't find it to be that fulfilling. And, aside from some of the points that were cool, I don't know if it's worth watching for that. For me, anyways. So... Not approved is The Elixir.
Did the subtitles throw you off?
No, there was no subtitles.
Oh, they dubbed it?
This was dubbed.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's probably some, translations issues throughout some of that, but it wasn't as noticeable. It was really the hang up on, the difference between, I guess, what they were trying to do is set up, like, this family's dysfunctional and there's some problems, but they got to come together to try to survive in the end.
You just didn't care about the family that much.
Yeah, especially because of their problems. And I'm like, really what you're hoping for, at least I was hoping for, is the sooner these zombies can come in and kill these people, the better off the world would be. And so if that's the take you got from it, then we're on the same page.
Yeah. Then maybe they haven't done a good job building up their protagonists enough.
Yeah,
if you want them to die. I don't think they've done a very good job. What are some of their problems?
Well, I mean, okay, so the father wants to sell, they're about to sell the company.
Yeah.
The son, he's got some things within him and his wife. Well, he had an affair, and then they're trying to get the sale done so that they can split up, and he can go do his thing, and then there's multiple affairs. Oh, by the way, the father is married to his daughter's best friend.
Oh, I hate that already.
Yeah, so that happened, and that gets revealed. It's
real
lame.
Kelsey Grammer scenario here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not. It just wasn't that great.
All right. Fair enough. Big J says hard pass.
So I hope this drops it out of the top.
We'll see if the Big J bump has any kind of fallout after giving it a thumbs down review. But Big J says...
By the way, it's almost 2 hours long.
You also don't like that?
I don't mind that if it's 2 hours well spent. 45 minutes of that was not.
So Big J said, well, that majority of the movie was then, in your opinion. That's an hour and 15 was good and 45 was bad?
No, because the rest of it is just, no.
Got it. The Elixir is a pass from Big J. You do not have to watch it. It is on Netflix if you want to give it your own review. We are going to do some important stuff. That's going to come up next on the X Rocks.
Running the globe in search of news. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nic and Big J.
Important stuff brought to you by the Ski Swap, dude. Join Jason Drew and the X this Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning until noon, for a live broadcast from Expo, Idaho. It is the 74th annual Ski Swap, Big J. You weren't even 10 years old when this thing started.
No.
The event Idaho skiers and snowboarders look forward to every year. Get price gear will be found at the Ski Swap, and you get it for great prices at Expo, Idaho. If you want more details, go to bbsef.org. The X and Jason Drew live this Saturday from Expo, Idaho at the Ski Swap. Join us on Saturday morning, won't you? Big J, we're lucky. We have a job that I believe helps us exercise our creative muscles. Agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Every day is different. We have an opportunity to do things that are creative and fun and a little bit out of the normal circles of what would be even traditional realms of broadcasting. Agree or disagree on that?
Yeah, just look to the X-Rock Murder Mystery.
That's right. But also, listen, there's lots of jobs in radio where you just kind of get on the microphone and say, this was, you're listening to, and that's all you do. We call those liner card jocks in the business, where they just read certain promotions and don't give you any real personality. So that can be a job for sure. It can pay the bills, but you don't get any real satisfaction from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not a disrespect to anybody that actually does that stuff. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But being creative, doing creative things can help your brain, Big J. It can help your brain seem younger and appear younger, 4 to 7 years younger than your actual age, according to new research.
It seems very specific.
Scientists analyzed brain data from about 1,500 participants across 13 different countries using what they're calling brain clocks, Big J. And that estimates biological age from electrical brain activity patterns. And they found out that if you are in yourself a creative job field, you showed negative brain age gaps, meaning their brains look younger than they actually are in their age. The more skilled participants were in their creative domain, the greater the youth effect. That's why there's a little bit of a kind of a moving target there. In a separate experiment, they found that gamers who trained 30 hours per week also reduced their brain age and improved their attention skills. So there are ways that you can exercise your brain that don't necessarily include regular types of things, but creative outlets, finding hobbies like, dancing, music, visual arts, strategy gaming, those kinds of things where it takes a little bit more of a kind of a puzzle solving element or a strategical element to something, as opposed to maybe just pointing and shooting, can help you and your brain be a little bit longer and younger, Big J. Isn't that nice?
Damn, it's great.
Yeah. So be creative, find things, hobbies, jobs, whatever, that help you exercise those muscles, and you might feel younger than you actually are. Now, your brain doesn't translate to your back or your knees or your spine or anything else on your body that might be hurting, but it's nice. I mean, I feel like this job has kept me young, at least mentally. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's kept me certainly up to date on things like that are in the popular world and that are kind of taking over where I probably wouldn't be if I was sitting in an office all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand 6'7", where a lot of people my age probably don't. And I don't know if I should wear that as a badge of pride, but it is something that at least I get.
Well, you should explain it to everybody else.
Sure. It means, kind of, here or there. Why it means that, that's up to you. You figure that out. But it's kind of like meh, if you will. Big J, the Toronto Blue Jays became the second team in baseball history to come back from an 18-inning loss in the World Series to get a victory in game number 4. Third inning blast from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and that came off of Shohei Ohtani, who was pitching in this game. He had a rough inning, and that led the Dodgers to a loss and gave the Blue Jays a 6-2 win over L.A. last night. So now the Fall Classic is tied at 2 games apiece. Big J, Game 5 tonight in L.A. Would you like a little bit of a statistic?
Yeah, man.
So in the World Series history, 61 times, Big J, the series has been tied at 2 games apiece. the team that wins Game 5 has won about 72% of those World Series. So this is a very pivotal, Game 5 between the Blue Jays and Toronto, and Blue Jays and the Dodgers to see who will be possibly the World Series champion. So it might be worth tuning into tonight, is my point. It's a big game. And then the series will shift back for Toronto for at least Game 6. But it's not Dodgers in 5, Big J. I'm sorry.
So do you think now, like, with as hot as Ohtani's bat is, like having him, pitch for one game, do you think that takes away from...
No, he's been pitching all playoffs.
Did they walk him a bunch yesterday?
Yesterday, I don't know. But the game before, obviously, 4 in a row. If I were the Blue Jays, I'd walk him every time. I'd bury Bonds that deep. For sure. Because there's that. He is on a tear.
The problem is at least when he's not pitching, he's leadoff.
Right.
So that makes it hard. You don't put a guy on base right away.
At least for the first inning. But, yeah. So, I mean, it certainly is... an interesting conundrum.
Does he bat in the same order he normally does when he's pitching?
Yes, because that's still a great bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Big J, have you watched The Pit on HBO?
No.
I cannot recommend it enough to you.
I have no interest.
How come? Medical drama?
I don't. Yeah.
It's
I'm
great.
not watching any medical drama. It's just not anything against The Pit or Noah Wiley.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, it's a different kind of take on the medical drama that you are used to. It's less soap opera-y and more... This is what it's like in a real day in an ER situation, and all the BS and crap they have to deal with in the real situations, and some things that are extraordinary circumstances as well. But it's really good. I hope it wins a bunch of Emmys when that comes out. But of course, they found out, courtesy of University of Southern Carolina study, that the Pit is motivating people to help out with organ donation and end-of-life preparations that they weren't normally doing until they saw this show. They found out that some of the storylines that happened in that show has made 27% of people figure out maybe I should be more prepared for my end of days in case an emergency situation happens, so that my family isn't burdened with all of these things that face somebody when a terrible and awful accident happens.
Yeah.
The organ donation narrative particularly resonated with younger viewers because it is something that comes up a lot during the course of the show, and how difficult it is for other people to make those decisions when placed in that particular role. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's tough to say, yes, take part of my son or take part of whatever to help somebody else out when you're going through this trauma of losing somebody. And so it's interesting. And then another 38% said, yeah, maybe I should do a little bit more planning in case something terrible would happen. Not that anybody wants to think about these things, but we talk about this a lot, where having those things figured out eases a burden of somebody that you love if something were to happen.
Yeah.
None of us are immortal. We're all going to face this at some point. It's how prepared you are going into this that can affect the people around you that you love that are going to miss you very, very much and mourn you very, very much, and probably aren't prepared mentally or physically to make some of these decisions that aren't exactly easy to figure out when you're going through a traumatic experience.
Very true.
So it leads to good things. My point is, realism sometimes can help us deal with things that we don't want to deal with. And seeing things like that in a different kind of scope can sometimes lead us down the right path. And I think that's a cool thing. Morning After with Nic and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, Big J, another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good, because it is next on the X-Rocks.
Here's traffic. Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh, man, we're going to hell.
Oh, you know they're both going to hell, right?
The Morning After with Nic and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
The first thing you need to know about today's We're Going to Hell story is how truly popular the Netflix television show Squid Game is, right?
Yeah.
It is by far and away the most popular show Netflix has ever produced. Probably will change when Stranger Things wraps up here coming up later at the end of this year. But in the 2 seasons Squid Game has come out, it has been a huge, gigantic hit internationally for the streaming service. So a lot of people know what Squid Game is. The second thing you need to know about today's We're Going to Hell story is, if a famous person reaches out to you on any kind of social media, they do not like you. Especially if they start asking for money, right?
Right.
And we have another story of somebody getting scammed over a ridiculous amount of money because they were certain they were in a long-distance romantic relationship with the star of Squid Game, Lee Jung-jae.
Oh, how nice.
They were convinced to the point where they gave up about $350,000, Big J. In this case, it is a 50-something woman, only known as A, because obviously she doesn't want to give out all of her information. She says that she was a fan of a lot of Squid Game pages online and followed a lot of the show. And when she got a friend request from Lee Jung-jae, she was like, holy cow, man, is this really him? Clicked on the page. It was a lot of not like paparazzi style photos, but a lot of like candid photos that seemed fairly natural of the Squid Game star. And so she's like, wow, must be actually him. He's got thousands of fans. I'll click accept the request. Then about 10 minutes later, she got a message on the social media and was like, hey, thanks for being a huge fan. I'm reaching out to just a couple of my fans and offering them some really cool things. I was wondering if you want to hit me up on WhatsApp. And she's like, what's that? And so then she downloads WhatsApp, which is another kind of like private messaging kind of device, exclusively very popular overseas. Not so much here.
No, it's pretty popular.
It is, but it's not as popular. Like WhatsApp is everywhere over in like Europe and Asia. Here it's more like, what's your Instagram? What's your at? And so that's a way that they talk to one another. Anyway, they start up a WhatsApp relationship, and then she's getting a lot of messages, and then slowly but surely, Lee starts calling her things like sweetie and honey, getting really personal. And then claiming things like he's in a real financial problem and could use some money to help out, and continues sending her not only pictures of where he is, but pictures of his identification, videos of himself talking to her. They're able to FaceTime because the technology with AI has gotten so crazy now that they're doing these things.
Oh,
and so
man.
she was fully invested in this, which is why she continued to send money. And then he's like, listen, I've got a little financial problems, but we're about to start filming season 3 of Squid Game. As soon as that money comes in, I'm sending this stuff back to you. You have my word. And then I'm going to come out and see you because we're going to film part of the season in the United States. So we'll be able to hang out a little bit. Just need like $7,500 for this VIP meet and greet. And then we'll hang out together, and you can come meet me over in this particular kind of like convention that we're doing over in Paris. She flies out to Paris, pays the $7,500 to meet him, and of course, there's nothing there. It doesn't happen. And she realizes, oh my God, I think I've been getting scammed this whole time. Contacts the police. They go through all the messages, all of the money, and yeah, they add it up. It's about $350,000 that this woman had given away, thinking she was in a relationship with a celebrity from Squid Game. So now they're in the process of tracking it down. Right now, they don't know exactly who was impersonating him or where this money was going, because a lot of it was sent to bank accounts and places that were closed right away the second the money was received, or in other different ways. And so now it's a story that does not have a conclusion, but it has reached the actual Lee Jung-jae, who's released a statement saying, listen, sorry this happened. Please know to any of my fans, I would never ask you for any money. And please be careful and diligent about your finances. That's not some. So the actor even knows this is happening. That's not good.
No, it's like Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3. I'm sorry, Ben Kingsley's character.
Yeah, in what way though?
Well, you got the actor who's knows what he's doing, but has been coerced or whatever in reason in trying to be something he isn't.
Okay. I'm still trying to. I'm missing the connection.
Oh, much like that, Ben Kingsley's character knew that he wasn't doing the right. Never mind. Irrelevant.
This guy did not know this was happening, though. You understand that, right?
Oh, I thought he knew.
No,
okay.
The story got to him, and he's like, "Oh my God, somebody was pretending to be me and con this woman out of a bunch of money. I need to put a poo-poo on that right away and release a statement saying I would never ask anybody for money." And make sure that they know that if they're talking to me online, they're not talking to me online. That's not how I communicate with people. And so he had to release a statement because he felt bad about it, obviously. But this is coming off the heels of another We're Going to Hell story where a woman was scammed out of $850,000 thinking she was in a relationship with Brad Pitt. Remember that?
Yeah.
So now we're up over $1 million just with 2 celebrities. So just be careful, everybody. Celebrities don't want to talk to you online. And they certainly don't need your money. You know that. You should know that at this point. But listen, sometimes feeling loved and wanted by a celebrity will make you do weird things, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So when Big J shows up in your WhatsApp asking you for $100, no, the real Big J is on his motorcycle somewhere.
Much more.
He doesn't have time for that other stuff.
It's a petty amount of money.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Well, you start small, Big J. And then you
Not
go
me.
big. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks.
Morning After with Nick and Big J.
If I may, Big J, there is an iconic line in the movie Roadhouse. I'm talking Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse, not Jake Gyllenhaal's unwatchable Roadhouse. I'm talking
Roadhouse.
about the original one, where he is getting stitched up by Kelly Lynch, the doctor, and he says the immortal line, "Pain don't hurt." You remember?
Pain don't hurt.
Pain don't hurt. And you're like, what? But it's a badass line when you're like a kid and you're watching that movie. You're like, whoa. Turns out having that mindset may actually help things out. Dalton was right. Hashtag Dalton was right, Big J.
Okay.
Scientists studied about 17,000 different adults with chronic pain and found that your mental resilience to the pain that you experience was the only consistent factor predicting whether or not you had activity levels or not. A lot of people will use chronic pain as a reason why they don't work out or they aren't as active as they should be, and some of that's very valid. Nobody is taking that away, but what they found out is it's not how much pain you're in that determines whether or not you stay physically active. It's how you think about and respond to that pain that affects your daily, everyday life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, they examine pain intensity, painful areas, pain duration, frailty, fear of movement, those kind of things. And even when accounting for pain severity, people with greater resilience mentally stayed more active. And if you can maintain a positive attitude and push through some discomfort, Big J, there is this weird psychological factor of being able to power through some of this stuff, which is, sometimes it really is how your brain is wired, how you react to situations around you, specifically pain activations. You understand?
Yeah, pain don't hurt.
Yeah, pain don't hurt if you can think that. But sometimes, Big J...
Well, you got to believe it.
Yeah, pain does hurt. I mean...
Thinking it isn't enough. You got to believe it.
Right. There is a difference. I mean, it's not like you can just go through and go, okay, I'm going to break my finger and pretend I didn't feel anything. That's fine. But you do have to actually have some sort of belief in it. Just because you repeat it over and over doesn't make it true. How you get to that plane is not covered in the study, of course.
Yeah, no.
Next thing you know, we're all walking around like Novocaine. You know, that's not exactly how it's going to work. But it is certainly interesting that there is a mental aspect to pain as well. If there is one big trend in the very young NBA season so far, it's that good players are getting their buckets, my friend. In the first week, there were 16 40-point games and 4 50-point games, both of which were records in the NBA. And after the first 7 days of the season, NBA games were seeing an average of 236 points per game. That is a 8% increase over what scoring was through 4 games for each team last season. So one could argue players are getting buckets. The other could be defense just is non-existent in today's game, and that's probably a little bit of mixture of both. So we'll see if that trend continues, but there's lots of points being scored, lots of good players scoring a lot of points, and so that is a trend in the early season of the NBA. So if you didn't like those late 90s 82 to 79 games and bruising down in the paint, this is your NBA. Games are 130 to 122, all of that stuff, and it's like an all-star game out there every night, Big J. You understand.
Rough.
Married with Children was a pretty big deal for Fox when it first launched as a network. It was one of the sitcoms that it signed on with back in 1989 when it went crazy. It was on the air for 11 seasons, Big J. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the cast is going to reunite for a live benefit to help support Race to Erase MS. Of course, Christina Applegate, one of the more vocal proponents of MS after her diagnosis. So she is getting the old crew back together. Ed O'Neill, Katie Seagal, Mrs. Applegate herself, and then David Faustino will all appear at the Wiltern Theater on January 28th of next year. And it will feature behind-the-scenes stories, a bunch of memories, some never-seen-before clips, and an opportunity to raise some money and awareness for multiple sclerosis. Not a bad thing, right, Big
Yeah,
J?
totally cool.
Hard to believe, but I mean, other than a couple of photo opportunities and things like that, this is the first time the cast has gotten together in a really, really, really long time to do anything like public facing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it is your real Married with Children reunion. If you're into that kind of thing, maybe a trip to LA would be worth it to see your favorite show back together again. Is there any television show, Big J, you would make an effort to see a reunion of? In this particular capacity, like they were getting together just to tell stories and take pictures and have some fun.
I don't think so.
No? No picture, no movie you love that, or TV show you love that much?
To like travel and go do something?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. But movies you would do it for.
I don't even know then.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of doing it for John Carpenter. Traveling to see him kind of relive some of the memories of the movies that he's put together, right?
Well, it's a musical performance.
Sure, but you know he's going to be talking. John Carpenter loves to talk.
Nah, there's not a lot of talking.
What?
No.
Oh, man. What a bummer. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown. It's next on the X.
Culture Smackdown. On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
And to say that this is one of our favorite shows this year would be an understatement, Nick. Avatar coming to the Revolution Concert House and Event Center on November 12th. And we cannot wait. We cannot wait for you to see them, especially if you haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Oh.
Here's a great opportunity for you to win some tickets for free to do so by beating me in Pop Culture Smackdown.
Do you think you can do it? Then get on the phone, 208-287-1003, and try to best Big J and grab yourself some tickets to go check out Avatar on November 12th at the Rev Center. We wish you all the best of luck. Big J, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Hello, the X.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, man. What's your name?
Thomas.
All right, Thomas, you're up first. Thomas, whose sensei is a rat named Master Splinter?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Right.
That's correct. Big J, what is the name of the assistant to Mr. Burns in The Simpsons?
Smithers. Mr. Smithers.
I'll take it. I was looking for the full name. Do you know what the full name is?
Dan Smithers?
No. Waylon.
Waylon.
Back to you, Tom. Who played the lead in the movie The Mask?
Jim Carrey.
That is correct.
Right.
Big J, in the world of entertainment, what is Dana Owens' stage name? More commonly known as who?
I'm going to go with Dana Carvey.
No.
Wrong.
No. Think more in the realm of hip hop and acting. Does that help?
Hip hop and acting.
Uh-huh.
Ludacris?
No, that's Chris Bridges.
Wrong.
Of course.
No.
What if I told you Dana was a female? Would that take you in the right direction,
no.
maybe?
No.
Tom,
hell?
you win no matter what. Do you happen to know the answer?
No one knows.
I don't.
What if I told you, Big J, she was the equalizer? Would that help?
Queen Latifah.
Right.
Queen Latifah's real name is Dana Owens.
Never.
That is
That's
correct.
not even close to Queen or Latifah.
Oh, that's why they call it a
I mean,
stage name.
Jesus.
I mean, John Wayne's not any close to Marion either, but here we are. Hey, congratulations,
Close to the
Thomas.
Duke, though.
You got yourself all set up and good to go for some Avatar tickets. Hang on 1 second, and we will make sure you're all set and good to go there. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We have got your headlines. They're next on the X Rocks.
You have our word on it.
For whatever that's worth.
It's headlines on the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Headlines brought to you by Monday Night Football McCleary's Pub, man. I know it's Wednesday, but it's never too early to make Monday Night Football plans. And we're going to be out on Monday hanging out at the McCleary's Pub out there on State Street, 9155 West State Street there in Garden City. Adam going to be out there having some fun, hanging out, watching football, man. There's always great drink specials, always great giveaways fueled by Shock Top and 10 Barrel Pub Beer as well as McCleary's Pub. So an opportunity for you to find some concert tickets. We always bring some X-Rock stock prizes with us when we're out and about for Monday Night Football. And this weekend, we got ourselves a fun little game, Big J. Arizona at Dallas. So there's going to be some points scored. We know that much.
Yeah.
And it will be fun to watch. So you can hang out with Adam for this fun Monday Night Football game this Monday. McCleary's on State Street, 9155 West State Street with the X-Rock. Headlines are as follows, Big J. Bad example. He was hangry and slopping in the streets.
Slopping in the streets.
Miami police have arrested 2 workers at a restaurant after catching them illegally disposing of cooking grease in a storm drain, Big J.
What is this, Boise, Idaho?
The Environmental Crimes Unit investigation began on September 22nd following an anonymous tip with a photograph. And then officers found 2 particular kitchen workers actively dumping grease into the street drain. That's not great. You're not supposed to do that. Of course, then they went into the restaurant and they said they were trained to do that by the people that own the restaurant. That's illegal to dump a bunch of grease down storm drains, Big J. So now the entire restaurant is facing environmental crime with willful disregard charges. Authorities warn that grease dumping contaminates water sources, harms wildlife, clogs sewage systems, and, of course, can cause raw sewage overflows into waterways, Big J. That's your poops and pee.
Yeah.
The substance coats animal feathers and fur and smothers aquatic plants, so it's not advisable to do that. There are ways that you are supposed to properly dispose of kitchen waste, like grease, and dumping it down the storm drain is not the right way to go, Big J. You know.
Oh, I know, yeah.
So don't dump it in the street when you finally open up Big J's restaurant, please. Bad example, or he was hangry.
He was hangry.
Franklin Township Police Sergeant Kevin Bolero is facing some misconduct charges after failing to properly investigate a double murder report on August 1st. Prosecutors say Bolero received 2 911 calls about gunshots and screaming in Pittstown, but then, after receiving the call and saying he would report to the scene, drove nearly 2 miles in the opposite direction to grab some money out of a bank ATM, and then, according to GPS data, he never visited the caller location because he was too busy stopping at Duke's Pizzeria in Pittstown for another hour and grabbed himself some pizza before responding to the shots fired call. The next day, 2 bodies were found, Big J, about 600 feet from the first caller's location. New Jersey State Police Lieutenant Ricardo Santos had basically found out that there were 2 people shot. It was a murder-suicide situation. And now they're charging the officer who should have found those bodies at least maybe it could have arrived.
Prevented the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
They don't really know when it all went down. He's now being charged with official misconduct and tampering with public records because he made false statements saying he went right up to the actual murder and didn't find the bodies. But turns out, Big J, he stopped and got some money and grabbed himself some pizza. That's not great.
That's the dude who doesn't care about his work.
Yeah, clearly. Now he's in trouble for it. Wrap it up with bad example. Big J, Lindsay Montague is the director of Clark County's Criminal Justice Coordinating Council that advises people and addresses DUI problems in and around Las Vegas. There's a lot of them in that particular city and in that county, so she has a pretty important job. Here's the problem, Big J. She got arrested on a DUI. That happened about 2 weeks ago, according to Nevada State Police.
That's not good for her.
A caller reported that a vehicle was swerving terribly and had driven off the road approximately 5 times while traveling from downtown Las Vegas. She got pulled over, and she told the trooper that was pulling over that she was a county employee who had, quote, 2 shots of Tito's vodka while at a casino, and that, he would ruin her life if she was arrested. But she, of course, did not pass the protocol on the street, the alcohol test, and so she was arrested. And now she is probably going to lose her job, Big J, because it's hard to be in charge of DUI enforcement when you or I guess your proof could be, hey, we're doing a good job. We're arresting people that, in fact, did drive under the influence, but it's still a bad look, you know?
Yeah, no, bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
So just a reminder, sometimes you can't be too hypocritical and expect to keep a gig. It's tough to pull that off. Morning After with Nic and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. It is the X Rocks. That is Nirvana in Bloom here on the Morning After with Nic and Big J. And sometimes, man, it's just nice to know that you're not alone out there in the world. And I don't want to take too much credit, but I do believe we might have started a movement, Big J, because we did bring up something and we're very opposed to it when the topic of the actual release came out that it was happening. And maybe, just maybe, we changed the world a little bit, dude.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Chili's had announced a couple weeks ago that they were going to be discontinuing their Skillet queso, Nick. And they were going to be replacing it with some other kind of queso, white Skillet queso, something or other.
It's like Southwestern.
And we're like, no, don't do that. And look, they had posted about that on Sunday, October 26th, and through social media posts responding to fans, calling for justice for Skillet queso, Nick. They announced that the backlash to that has been heard, and they are not going to replace it, and they're going to keep it and continue with it.
Yeah, I don't know if that means the Southwestern queso is going away either, or they will now offer it alongside what's happening, but we have the return of Skillet Queso, Big J. And it is one of the best things on the menu, and it makes me very happy that sometimes mistakes can be made, but it is nice when they correct those mistakes. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely. And, I think it's in their rights to see sometimes, hey, man, this isn't selling that great. Let's put it out there that we're going to stop and see what happens, see how it shakes out. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
No, I mean, listen, they had to have numbers that say this is a menu item that's not doing well. But then what it also does is it reignites the people that love it, like us, and maybe aren't vocal about it, and then go, God, you know what? If they brought it back, I'd go do it. So what we have to do is, if you're a Skillet Queso fan, now you have to go support the Skillet Queso and go get yourself some chips and some queso and grab yourself a beverage or something at a Chili's so that they keep it on the menu so that it's there when you want to go back in, and it's like an old comfortable blanket that you can put over your lap and have fun with.
Yeah, I like the idea of a comfortable blanket.
You do.
But it's Skillet Queso from Chili's.
How about on that comfortable blanket is a nice little Skillet Queso that you can dip some chips into.
Sounds beautiful.
And then you spill it all over eventually that blanket of yours, because it is a messy dish. There's no doubt about it. Eventually, there's going to be a casualty or two, whether it's your shirt or it's the table. Some of that Skillet Queso is getting on other places that it is intended to be, because that's just part of the fun of Skillet Queso, Big J. So, congratulations, we did it. Do we claim this as a victory for the morning after, Big J?
I say it's a victory, man.
Sounds good to me, man. I'll take credit for it.
There's 2 locations left here in the Treasure Valley, Broadway and Meridian.
Support it and grab yourself some Skillet Queso, please.
See you there, brother.
Morning after with Nick and Big J. We got some bad impressions. They're next on the X Rocks.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the morning after with Nic and Big J.
Yeah, we got a band coming to town. It's going to melt your face, man. Rest of your body, too. Fit for a King on Friday, November 7th at the Knitting Factory. We'll get you lined up with these tickets. When you figure out bad impressions here today of this very famous person, you hear the clues, you call in, and boom. Figured out these tickets are yours.
Big J recapped it very nicely. So if you want to play, 208-287-1003. You'll get upwards of 3 clues. But sometimes you don't need all 3. I mean, sometimes you figure it out before you hit 3. Sometimes there's only 1. And so if you think you got what it takes to grab some Fit for a King tickets, now would be the time to get on the phone. 208-287-1003. Big J, are those clues ready?
Yeah, man.
Then to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
What's going on?
How you doing, man? You're up first. Good luck.
I know this clue might not help, but many years ago, Nick and Big J sat right next to me at a Chris Angel show. Then we hung out afterwards for an interview.
I should know it, but next one?
Yes, you should. Yeah, boy!
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav!
That is correct. Hang on 1 second. We'll hook you up with those Fit for a King tickets. What was clue 3 for fun?
I wear a giant clock around my neck at all times, so you know what time it is, boy!
It's Flavor Flav time.
Yeah.
Why is our friend Flavor Flav in the news?
He has been named, Nick, the official hype man and sponsor for the USA bobsled and skeleton teams for the 2026 Winter Olympics.
I mean, why not, right?
Well, I mean, it came off so well in the last Olympics. He was hyping up the everything pretty much in Park City, Utah, doing stuff for the I think it was the women's water polo team. And just, it was, I mean, he drew attention from everywhere, and social media was on fire. And so they're like, we need to make this an official thing. And so guys like him and Snoop Dogg are all into this, and people are eating it up, man. It doesn't help the television ratings necessarily, but his response was, this partnership is a blessing. It's cooler than Cool Runnings. It's coolest runnings. It's what he said, man. He's the best.
Flavor Flav. Was he on his phone when he was releasing that statement?
No.
Because I don't think I ever saw him not on his phone. Very popular man, that Flavor Flav. Congratulations on the promotion. So he's now saved the Olympics. He saved Red Lobster, and now he's back with the Olympics. So he's doing big things.
He may have saved our show.
He may have. He might be a miracle worker that we were unaware of behind the scenes.
Saved our interview, at least.
He made it much more interesting
yeah.
with Chris Angel, that's for sure. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your bad impressions. We wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks.
Hi, this is Brian.
We're already there. I Prevail. That is the latest from them into hell here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. That's going to wrap it up for this particular show on this particular Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Big J said, listen, I didn't like the Elixir all that much. So it wasn't like the worst movie he ever saw, but it was like castor oil to him. He couldn't get it down. and it induced vomiting. And so he did not enjoy it very much and said, thanks, but no thanks. But if you want to try it for yourself, you're your own person. It's available on Netflix if you'd like to check it out. It's a brand new movie as well. Gave you another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery presented by Watson's Mystery Cafe and Spirits. That was pretty awesome. We're getting really close to figuring this thing out. But for some reason, people want to blame it on me, Big J. I didn't kill anybody or anything.
Yeah, no, that's...
We've had discussions behind the scenes if 1 year it would be fun if one of us were the murderers, but it was essentially decided that it'd be too easy to figure out. I think it would take the fun away from
that, and it would be hard to walk back from the next year. I mean, so these aren't exactly a series or anything like that, but at the same time, we have good taste.
We try, and we do reference other mysteries in them, and it's tough if one of us has been involved in it along the way. So that's probably one thing you can always chalk up is I don't think anybody on staff will ever be the murderer, because we talked about it years and years and years ago.
I've wanted to be the murder victim.
Yeah, but also that's a little bit too dark for us when we fictionally murder anybody, and then difficult.
I'm
and you're also
going to
doing
put that in my will. The year I die.
I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
Somebody else will be taking over the murder mystery by that point.
I demand it.
But, of course, we also had a chance to give away some Avatar tickets. That's fun, Halloween-y fun. They got a new album coming out on Friday. They're coming to town on November 12th. We're very excited about that. And we brought back Chili's Skillet Queso, Big J. That feels pretty good as well.
Yeah.
It does leave you with the floor, sir.
Yeah, we might do this. I think we opened the show today with a 6-7 reference. 67?
We did.
Okay,
We did.
we're going to end it with
6-7.
that.
Okay.
Because some smart parents have come up with an idea of how to shut their kids up about this whole thing. They're wearing costumes for Halloween with the number 6 and 7 on one shirt. And that might just, once we teach the kids how uncool it is and that we embrace it, that's when they'll drop it and they'll move on to something else.
The second it gets embraced by Gen X and Boomer culture, it is absolutely over in the minds of the kids. You're absolutely right.
If you see some old people or older or us wearing a shirt that says 1 6, the other 7, and they stand together and take a picture, that's how you defeat these kids.
Fun. It's fun. Morning After with Nick and Big J. That is it for us. Jason Drew's up next. Have a good one. It's the X Rocks.